was 4.
Last week on a very emotional Tokase, we looked at the trauma faced by children with cancer.
You know, every child is a responsibility of every South African, so we should be getting involved.
Today on Tokase, we go to the reopening of the Johannesburg Public Library, a protected heritage building that has gone through a multi-million rand makeover. Hang out with the celebrities, the mayor, and the librarians, and wonder if we actually read books anymore, and realize that reading is a passion all of us can embrace.
Dumelang ko hae ra lo amohela mo Talk SA. Lebitso la ka ke Aya, kajeno re tlo be le bua ka literacy. Do we read enough as South Africans? When last did you pick up a book? I love to read, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Do we read enough?
No, we don't.
We don't.
Nee, ons lees nie baie nie, veral die jeug. Alles te in TV en op die internet. Facebook is net nou oorgevat en hulle stel nie meer belang in boeke nie.
Simanfunda, what do you get out of it?
The whole new world. Everything you know when you read, it's just not like the same. Yonke into ya change again. Yeah.
Boeke wat 'n mens inspireer, soos byvoorbeeld die ene. Dit inspireer jou.
Ngakaiwe mune ungasukona uzibveledza zviatoda kusedziwa ngakha vane vadivesa ngamanda.
So reading, you get information, so youth, they don't read.
When you read, then you're in a better position to argue.
Like a love letter to readers, on Valentine's Day this year, the Johannesburg City Library reopened its doors after 3 years of renovation. Now, this 77-year-old protected heritage site has been revived thanks to the City of Johannesburg and the Carnegie Corporation of New York as part of their Revitalizing of African Libraries program.
Discovery of gold, the prominent citizens of the city of Johannesburg, settlers, of course, not indigenous people, men, of course, not women, got together to discuss the establishment of a public library. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to ask you to welcome the MMC for Community Development, Councillor Chris Vaughan.
And we believe that libraries should be a place where young people and old exchange ideas as well as information. This to us is a direct response to a clarion call that was made by the late grandfather Oliver Tambo, who once said, and I quote, "A country that does not invest in its future, does not deserve its future."
I am the Program Director for Higher Education and Libraries in Africa of the Carnegie Corporation of New York. We are happy, really, really delighted to be here.
I would like to commit to the residents of Johannesburg that this library will strive to be a valuable resource for researchers, a sanctuary for music and art practitioners, a treasure trove for information seekers, a study center for students and learners, a wonderland for children, a literacy hub for the non-literate, a reading space for all, and an information technology center of excellence for the youth, job seekers and children. Most of all, a place of choice for information, recreation, and lifelong learning. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. The opportunity was given to me by my father, who was a passionate reader, and he would insist that one of the first things you need to do is to start by reading the newspaper, so that the reading becomes relevant from a very young age. And since then, I've always had a culture of reading and engaging with books and information, in particular through the newspapers.
It's a grand old lady that somehow, if you grew up in the city, then you grew up with this knowing there was this most fantastic building always. Even if you knew nothing about it, it was always, it gave identity to the city. You know, it is the heart of the city. It shows how finally it's been made, and I guess our task was really to just polish it up, rediscover it, those bits that got tired, to try and revitalize them, and to make the new component as polite, as sensitive as possible. You know what I mean? It's quite clear what's old and what's new. You know, these are the sort of conservation strategies that you need to use, and to allow the new component to show the old bit. You know, we mustn't lose sight of, you know, what's the important building. It's not about the new bit, it's about the old bit. You know, so the new insertion tries to find the secret spaces in the library for itself to be, so that when you're there, you're not aware of the new bot, you're always aware of the old part of the building.
When we come back, we're going to be taking a tour around the library, and we're going to be meeting some cute young little learners who are discovering the joys of reading at a library for the first time.
George, lost his voice. That is the original printing press that was kept as part of the heritage of the building.
Tell us about the history of the library.
You know, this library has got a long history, starting in 1893 in a corrugated iron building. In fact, it is almost as old as the city of Johannesburg itself, because it started with the discovery of gold in Joburg. And, you know, when it started, I mean, remember those days, all the libraries were subscription libraries, so you had to pay. If you don't have money, unfortunately, no library. I think for me, this library was a pioneer in the sense that it was the first library, for instance, in South Africa to introduce free services. It was also the first library to employ qualified librarians. And then also, I mean, this library was the first library in South Africa, I think I'm proud to say that, to be open to the people of all races, 1974. If you go to the third floor where there's exhibition, you can actually see, you know, there are pictures showing when the people, you know, were coming to the library to use the books. So it's got a long history.
And now it's been revived and reopened. Tell us about that experience. How are you feeling?
The excitement of, you know, the kids. I mean, also. I mean, even before we even opened, when we were cleaning, so many kids coming back from school would come to the door and say, "Is the library open? I mean, can you come in?" So it was really, you know, that excitement from the kids, because I think for them, it's almost like, you know, that what is nice about the library is that it's, you know, it's a space where, I mean, you know, nobody asks you, why are you here? I think we're just happy to see people coming in, because really what we want to see is we want to see as many youngsters as possible reading, because I think for us that is very, very important. And, I mean, we've always said, if kids can start reading, then they will improve their results.
This is the children's library. this is where you belong. Yeah. George. Yeah.
Lost his voice.
And he enjoyed frightening everyone and everything. Silence. This little thing is saying to George, silence. Because why?
Because he's making noise.
What type of stories do you like?
Ben 10.
Ben 10. But have you ever read a Ben 10 book?
Yes.
Serious?
Right for me.
Oh, nice. What do you like reading?
Stories of animals.
Beze a library, because you know other kids ezinye ingane azifuni ukufunda, and ukufunda ikuyinto right. Ningathini bezinye ingane ukuthi zize zizofunda?
I'll say there's nice books, they're so fun and for the children's.
And computer jwang le di Facebook, Ben 10, TV, gore bana batle o bala.
Tseo ke di-challenges mara re itsositse gore re teng ra exista and re tlo dula re exista. Dintho tse ding tsena di a fihla di a tsamaya dibuka di tla dula di le teng tsone di-Facebook tseo ga ba batla go tseba haholo ka tsone ba tlamehile gape ba khutle batle library ba tlo batla information e nngwe gape gore ga ke batla go tseba haholo ka Facebook tshwanetse ke etse jwang information eo ba tla thola gape dibukeng teng bona ko library so ba tlamehile gore ba khutle gape ba tle mo ko library so it's not much of a challenge go rona.
We've tried to maintain all the original, structures. Like your floors, they are a replica of the original floors. And also your ceilings, as you can see, the pressed ceilings. And we've decided to make sure that we keep our printing press. That is the original printing press that we've kept as part of the heritage of the building. Now we're going down to the basement, to the newsroom, where we have all our newspapers, the old ones and the, current newspapers. But the most important thing about the space is that we're gonna have a coffee shop.
Oh, nice.
Yay! We're gonna have a coffee shop. Okay, we have the young adult area, we have the ref area, and now to the new part of the library. Let's go up the stairs.
Yay!
For us, this is one of the spaces that we definitely know it's going to be heavily used. And some of this area is going to be specifically used for Wi-Fi. These are the computers where the members of the public can use in order to get into the internet, and also if they want to do word processing, they can use the computers to type their assignments, to also do their CVs and everything else. So this is phase 1 of the internet access. This library is a treasure, hence it is called the heart of the city.
When I'm with a book,
When we come back, we meet up with a one-man bookshop at an intersection and climb onto a bus on a visit to mobile libraries in Cape Town.
Meer Suid-Afrikaners moet lees.
Hey, bye, thank you.
Bye.
Books are fabulous, but unfortunately we don't spend enough time at our local libraries or buying books. Now I know that you'd much rather spend your money on cell phones or lottery tickets, but you know what? You can actually find treasures in second-hand bookstores, or right here at an intersection where we've got a one-man bookstore. He's trying to get drivers to drop the road rage and take up reading. Do you read?
Yes, I do. Not as much as I'd like to, but I do every now and then.
What kind of books do you like?
I like non-fiction.
Is it?
Yeah, something with a bit of truth in it. Yeah.
Super, thanks. Have a good day. Do you like to read?
I love reading.
What kind of books do you like?
Spy novels.
Oh, nice. You know, there's a guy selling books here. What do you think about that?
I've seen him. I've never had a chance to actually look at his collection.
You must try. He's really good. Thank you so much.
Ek dink dit is baie goed. Meer Suid-Afrikaners moet lees.
Hey, bye. Thank you.
Bye.
It's quite enterprising if you can find a way to get people to buy them. I mean, I've seen the guys buying coat hangers and everything else, so why not move the library and a bookstore out to the robot? So it's a good entrepreneurial move.
Okay, so Puti, ngitshela ukuthi ibhizinisi ihamba kanjani?
Business ihamba right. As you can see, abantu banye bayathenga, but abanye abantu abathengi. It depends whether wena umuntu wamabhuku or umuntu ongathanda amabhuku.
But ucabanga ukuthi thina abantu bala eMzansi Afrika siyafunda, and is it important ukuthi sifunde? Kungani ukuthi kumele sifunde incwadi?
You know, like reading is very, very important because like there's a difference even between the kids. Like two kids, the one who reads and the one who like hates books. Maybe she like playing and the other one like reading. When they grow up, like even at 6 years already, you can see a difference. Ukuthi lo ngathi ungathi nje active nyana nje more special makuza even alphabetic kanje yonke into. Ama books nje are good even for sometimes in amanye ama customers uthola ukuthi abantu old age kanje kodwa still bayafunda. Why? Because bakhipha nje ukuthi ingqondo yakho ukuthi ungabe like lemon nje, at least yenza ukuthi ube active nyana nje emabhuku.
What kind of books are the most popular ones?
The most popular one, there's this Jill Cooper, the men who make husbands jealous. Those books are sold like, I bought like 12 and they all got sold out. Anything I balawi James Hadley Chase, like nje imina some akuthi yaboreka ukuze some other authors bayenzela imali, abanye bayaboreka, abanye maybe incwadi interesting then aboreke phakathi angazi ukufuna ama ideas kwabanye then incwadi igcine end up ukuthi ibe flop then but abantu abafana nabo James Hadley Chase kanje bantu everything it touches like yazi ukuthi already it's going to be a #1 bestseller.
Sicabanga ukuthi uyazizamela ngithi something ukuthi athola ukudla alale nefamily yakhe.
Nina bomama niyakuthanda ukufunda?
Siyakuthanda ukufunda ngoba thina sithola ngamathuba okufunda ngezikhathi zethu.
So manithi nifunda izinto nifunda inama magazine noma incwadi ini?
Sifuna ukufunda nje nabo magazine siyabafunda nokunye nje okuphathelene nemisebenzi ukuthi sithole imisebenzi ethe xaxa. Yes.
Ningaba encourage abantu abasha ukuthi bafunde?
Yes. Saba encourage bafunde bangafani nathi. Thina zanga sithola amathuba. Izwe manje lifuna umuntu ofundile. Ongafundanga ulemsila nje. Yeah.
When I'm with a book, it's like I'm falling in love. Reading is like falling in love.
Books and cars, whoever would have thought. We definitely wish Pilani all the best in his business. Now, if you're battling to access your local library, guess what? We've got mobile libraries. We went to Mitchell's Plain and Garden Village and we had a look at what these mobile libraries are all about.
Mobile libraries started as early as in 1953. The reason for these mobile libraries is that, as you know that perhaps you don't know, but the library function is a competence of the provincial government. But because as the city of Cape Town, we've got a good track record and we are the people who are on the forefront in terms of service delivery, this function now is with the city of Cape Town. But of course, the implementation protocol will be signed by the provincial government to make sure that we render this service effectively and efficiently. And as a caring city, we realize that the we don't have the areas where the libraries are available. So in such cases, we decided to have the mobile library.
Wel, die biblioteek, ons gaan na basis na plekke waar daar geen biblioteek is, baie ver is vir mense om te stap. So ons besoek daardie areas 1 keer per week.
I'm a librarian on Mobile One. I'm in charge of this particular bus. Yeah, and I've been working at mobiles for 20 years. For children to walk to a library in crime-ridden areas, their parents are not going to allow it, because the mobile library is close to where they are, closer to the schools, so it is easier and probably safer for them to use.
Ek het 4 boeke gekry.
My favorite book is 3 Varkies.
Mostly cooking books and craft things.
Mooi romance and you know, series and so forth.
Mrs. Koopman het al so baie boeke gelees dat baie keer as sy biblioteek toe kom en sy sê julle moet iets nuut gee, ek het al alles gelees wat julle het.
En Mrs. Koopman het rollenbal gespeel.
There's a drive towards literacy, and also if you look at the literacy and numeracy rates of children, it has gone down in the last couple of years. So there's this drive to encourage children to read, and our purpose, I feel my purpose is to encourage a culture and love of reading, especially with the smaller children. That's why our focus is mainly on children, because if you get children to read, they will become reading adults.
Your nation builders for the week this week are the Johannesburg Library, mobile libraries in Cape Town, and the Street Vendor Bookstore. Next week on Talk SA, we celebrate Africa Day.
On this day in history, in 1925, Afrikaans was made the official language of the Union of South Africa. And then in 1975, Afrikaans anti-apartheid activist Bram Fischer, who defended Nelson Mandela during the treason and the Rivonia trials, was released from his life imprisonment and sent to his brother's home in Bloemfontein, where he passed away. And his efforts were not in vain, because in 1996, the Constitution of South Africa was passed. Until we meet again, keep talking SA. Don't forget to like our Facebook page. You can follow me on Twitter at @IamBama, or also like my Facebook page. Don't forget, keep reading. Look at these lovely books.